Well, you could just leave. It's no big deal. Oh no. There we go. I have too many accounts. That's the problem. I forgot we were under charge with change. I can't use that right now. I forgot about that. Yep. I have too many accounts. I went to go share it to our group, and when I saw the group wasn't there, and then when Katie texts me, I'm like, okay, makes sense. Oh my God, it made sense. I was trying to share to the group, and I'm like, why isn't the group there? Like it's gone. No, we're good. Hey, Jamie. Oh my God, Matt's going to get it. He just texted me. Sorry, but Ellie can't make it tonight. I'm kidding. Oh my God, don't do this to me. Matt wants to like start. How you doing, Jamie? Yeah, he's messing with me. He does that all the time. I never know when he's messing with me or not. Katie, thank you. Christy's on the floor doing the tech support. She's helping me. She's going to set up she has the YouTube set up. She wants to just make sure it starts and everything's fine. So, Jamie, have you heard from Angel? I tried texting her if she does a good job. Maybe you'll add a desk in the background for her next time.
Who said that?
Katie, you should know better. It's either Katie or Lauren. Thanks, Katie.
Also sounded kind of like it could have been Matt, but I know he's at
He's not here. Katie, we could get her one of those little school desks, with the side piece. She's little
I
enough.
got the full desk. I just say a chair. Why, don't you just
Hey, Ellie. She's good on the floor. She's tiny enough. I could turn over the trash can and let her like work off of the trash. No? She's
It's a lot
good.
more.
She's good.
I used a beanbag chair if I was staying.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, hey, Ellie. How are you?
I'm okay. Sorry that I look homeless. I got stung by a bee today 4 times.
No, 4
And
times.
4 times, yeah. I had an interview with CBS News, and in the middle of the interview, I was getting stung by a bee.
Oh my
It was a
God.
disaster. And so I took medicine, and I just woke up.
Oh,
So that's why I look homeless.
you're good. You're good.
So I figured nobody would care.
No, nobody cares. We're fine. We're all family
She looks
here.
beautiful.
See, you look beautiful.
I literally was like, I can't get dressed up. I can't do it.
Oh my God, Matt said, "Oh, I'm sorry, she can't make it tonight." He does this to me all the
I'm
time.
like, what are you talking about?
He teases me. He wants me to have like a little heart attack. He does those things to Marge. Matt does things to me to drive me crazy. I never know when he's telling the truth or not. That's the thing. He messes with me so much.
That's funny.
Oh, look, I love your cat.
I'm trying to figure out how to put a filter on my face so I don't look so bad.
Good.
Yeah, you look great.
I see you,
sorry,
Matt.
I'm like the random voice out of nowhere.
Oh, my daughter's on the floor doing my
hey,
tech
girl.
support. She's my tech support. She's going to turn on the YouTube for me.
Oh, you getting fancy.
You were going to stream on both. Matt, why are you here? You're not working? I just told Christy. Oh, hey, Christy, he says.
Hello, brother.
These two. And I think we have Keith.
So should I start?
You have a prepaid call
Are you going to do like an intro?
That's good.
An incarcerated individual at the Pleasant Valley State Prison, Coalinga, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hi, Margie.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on, Keith?
Good. Is Allie on yet?
Allie's on. She's always on time,
okay.
Allie. Yes, she's on.
Hi, Keith.
Well, first and foremost, hi. How are you?
It's not working.
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I got to
Nice
watch
to
a
meet you.
little bit of your. I got to watch a little bit of you on the live when I called my wife. I called her on video call, and then she turned the phone where I could watch you talking a little bit. So
The
Can you
last
make it
live.
louder?
yeah, so I got to see a little bit of you.
Oh, good.
So Jamie, who's in the chat, is his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, Jamie.
Why does it say waiting?
I don't know.
I'm trying again.
But
Well,
so
I don't know how much Marge has shared with you about my sentencing or any of my history. Have you shared a little bit with her?
we did share. Did Matt send you that? Right? Yes.
Yeah, I read it. I did some Googling as well.
She does her homework.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay. So even though you're in, where are you at in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania. Yep. The eastern side, so like near Philadelphia.
Okay. So they have 3 strikes law over there as well, right?
Sure do.
Okay. God, that 3 strikes law has been burying me for so long. I was, because I had a previous commitment at 18, so I had 2 prior felonies, which were residential burglaries, but they were non-violent, but they were considered serious felony wobblers. So in 1994, when the 3 strikes law had first came out over here, like they were just throwing anybody and everybody that they could out of the county that I was, convicted in. They were just trying to find candidates left and right, and unfortunately, I had those 2 burglaries. So right away, when I caught the first degree with my mother as my co-defendant, they immediately made me a 3-strike candidate using those residential burglaries. None of my juvenile was admissible, even though I had a lengthy juvenile record since I was 11. I had already been in foster care as a result of abuse at the hands of my stepfather, who tried to kill me and went to prison for it at 11. I was taken from my mother, put into the foster care system, in and out of juvenile hall, foster homes, boys ranches, placement homes. And then at the age of 15, I was... This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. I'd been sent to the California Youth Facility, which was boys prison. Back then they could keep you up to your 25. So I was housed around guys that were 18, 19, 20 years old, and I was only 15 years old. So none of my juvenile stuff was admissible in my trial with my mother. Neither was I considered at all for a youth offender because I was also sentenced under the 3 strikes law, and I had 2 previous commitments, the 2 burglaries again, that also excluded me from being a juvenile. And if you know my case with my mother,
Your burglaries were non-violent offenses?
Yes, they're non-violent. They're daytime residentials, unoccupied, and they were considered just serious felonies, non-violent. So when I was convicted with my mother, I was sentenced under that 3 strikes. So I not only got the first degree, but I also got a 5-year gun enhancement for, commission of the crime with a firearm. And then I had gotten a 4-year prison prior for having already been to prison on that first term at 18. So I was 22 years old when I caught that first degree with my mother. So while I was in custody awaiting trial, I was 22 years old. I was full of all kinds of nonsense at the time, and I had accumulated additional in-house cases: assault with weapons, possession of weapons,
Inside the prison, correct?
Keith, inside,
so
right? Keith, inside the prison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, in the county jail. All of these were in the same county jail of the case that I was fighting, which is Santa Claus County in Modesto, California. So at the time, I was fighting a case with my mother. I came back. I knew I was coming back on obviously, most likelier than not spending the rest of my life in prison. Back then, if you got a life sentence here in California, you were spending the rest of your life in prison, hands down. At the time, the young lady that I was living with when I got arrested, that first year, she was with my mother and I the night of the crime, and she had died in a car wreck. I felt a lot of responsibility for that as well. And just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is going on with me at the age of 22, and very, very, very aggressive, very violent. I just acted out, and so anyways, I'd caught in those crimes while in that same county jail. So by the time I even got to my jury trial for my case with my mother, we did separate trials. Her defense was battered woman syndrome, and I didn't really have a defense. I had a public defender at the time. None of my juvenile stuff was admissible. And then by the time I did have that trial, I had already been to trial for assault with a weapon and a possession of a weapon while in the county jail that were also separate cases that they three-striked me again. So they struck me out using those same two burglary priors to strike me out again. So by the time I got to the murder case, I'd already had 2 life sentences with those same 2 burglaries. And then that one, and then afterward, I had caught in 2 other cases while in that county jail before I was sent back to state prison, which was another assault and another weapon possession. So again, they used the same 2 burglaries. So by the time everything was said and done, I was tried and convicted. I was struck out 5 consecutive times with those same 2 residential burglaries. You see what I mean?
No, I understand what you're saying. I was just listening before I opened my mouth. But I think that, from a standpoint of a legal aspect, you've heard of double jeopardy. Obviously, you're a smart dude. And for those of you who don't know what that is, basically it means you can't be tried twice for the same crime. But there's some sort of aspect of that should be probably applied to the 3-strike rule, right? Because they're using that 5 times against you. And while I understand a prior record score in crafting a sentence, which is basically essentially what a 3-strike is necessary. The problem I have with using the prior record score is that the legislator can unilaterally decide what your prior record score is based off the offenses. So, for example, in Pennsylvania, an ag assault would be, I don't know what the numbers are, but it would be like, let's say, 1 or 2, and DUI would be a 1, and then you add them all together and you get a prior, whatever the prior record score is. The problem is that they classify every single offense as what it is without the facts, right? So an ag assault for somebody who did it on a child compared to an ag assault on a potential self-defense claim compared to an ag assault by a vehicle, 3 different things, right? But they all have the same prior record score. It doesn't take into consideration the facts. That's the problem. And then you get situations where you have this and they're continuing to use the ag assault or the unaliving or the DUI 5 times over and over and over again, but they failed to tell you that, the after the 5th DUI, the guy spent 4 years in rehab or something, right? There's no set of facts. So it's just a number on a blanket case. And I just don't think it's fair.
Yeah. The way I looked at it was, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like I kind of would have understood if they would have said, okay, we're going to use the residential burglaries to strike you out, and then use other prior strikes from the assault and weapon possession, etc., from the other crimes to basically use those to domino effect the other cases that I caught. Like, yet they said because the judge already, you know how you got to go to you got to have a hearing and a judge has to decide whether or not these are eligible strikes to use, which were the burglaries. He deemed them strikeable, so I felt like they kept going back to those same two residential burglaries and using those because on the record a judge had already deemed those strikeable priors, instead of having to go through the issues of trying to use the other strikes from my other in-house cases as priors that could be used. You see what I'm saying? Which were violent, considered violent strikes priors because of the weapon possession and obviously the assault. So they would be in the same nexus of the first degree, but yet they used the residentials, which were, again, nonviolent. They were serious felonies, but nonviolent felonies. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. See, and this is the other problem, right? So I think the world has a different definition of who you talk to depending on the word violent. Like, to me, a residential daytime burglary is a nonviolent offense. I also think a weapons verdict, you can't do that. I also think a weapons case could be a nonviolent offense. And let me explain myself before everyone starts going wild. So possessing a weapon is, to me, a nonviolent offense. Using a weapon could be a violent offense, sure, but I don't think simply possessing a weapon is a violent offense. Right. To me, and again, I know I'm defense-minded, but to me, a crime against a human or a building or even a building, a crime against a human or an animal or a living thing, to me, is what's violent. If you break into, the CVS at night and steal, 100 prescriptions, do I think it's correct? No. Yeah. Do I think that is violent? No.
Right.
But the law doesn't necessarily.
It comes down to intent. So I totally get what you're saying, because that's where the intent comes in. Like, I was in the setting that I was in the county jail. It was during the time where there was violence happening all around me. There was a race war. A lot of us did have weapons, so it did come down to, I see what you're saying, because it comes down to intent.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
The environment that somebody's in, we use, we'll possess weapons in here to protect ourselves as gang members or being in a violent atmosphere. That's not to say it's right, but again, it's like you said, it comes down to that intent. Why did I have the weapon? Was I planning to use that weapon? Was it laid out that I was actually going to use that? So they didn't even try to prove that. They just dug up the fact that, okay, here's this guy's history. He's this at the current time. So they use that against me. You see?
Yeah, and again, I mean, I understand, like, especially in PA, I sort of understand the need for encompassing a prior record score in a sentencing guideline, which is basically what the judges have to follow, and I'm sure it's similar where y'all are at in regards to what the guidelines are, but I still struggle with the idea that the prior record score is dictated by unilateral decision making by the legislator. Again, that's my opinion on it. I think that if you're going to use somebody's prior record score against them to formulate a sentence for a new case, then you need to have the ability for the defense to explain the record score. Again, just my opinion.
Okay, let me call you back.
Okay. Yeah, he has done so much, like, in prison for,
I know, I was reading it. It's crazy.
He just recently he has 2 books, Unleashed, and this one just came out last week. This is a children's book. He's actually going to do a reading next week with us. So he reads them, and then I put them on my YouTube channel. He does a reading on the live with us, and then
that's cool.
So then I'll put it on YouTube. Hey, Tommy.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call
So
from
these are
Keith Erickson.
both available on Amazon.
an incarcerated individual at the Pleasant Valley State Prison, Coalinga, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Hi, Keith.
So earlier this year, I was taken back for resentencing under somebody petitioned me put me up for 1172 prison personnel. However, somewhere along the lines, my attorney was only taking me back for my 1 year enhancements. So they weren't addressing the 3 strikes. So they were going back for the 1 year, because I had a couple 1 year enhancements as well, tagged on to some of those offenses. And when I went in for resentencing in front of the judge they commended me for, all the extraordinary things I've accomplished, the fact that I've been disciplinary free for 16, 17 years.
YouTube carry mode is off.
I mean, that is, I had support letters from wardens, from chief deputy wardens. However, he said that his hands were tied where the 3 strikes was concerned, because we weren't back on the resentencing to challenge the 3 strike enhancement. He did, however, say that there was currently 3 separate cases going on in the federal courts right now challenging the 3 strikes residential burglary as strikeable prior.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, the residential burglaries, why they're felonies here in Pennsylvania, and I'm sure they are in California, I don't know that I would qualify those as previous 3 strike violent felonies. But again, that's a problem with the legislator, right? So, I mean, I'm sure your legislator is similar to our legislator in the sense of how they qualify crimes. And I think, a residential burglary can turn into a robbery, right? At least in Pennsylvania, depending on the hours of the night and the occupants and the weapons brought in. But
right.
That a robbery, if you have residential and it's 3:00 in the morning, and you got kids and you're bringing in pew-pews, that's a little bit different than a residential burglary. And I'm not saying, I just want everyone to be clear, I'm not saying a residential burglary is something I condone or accept, and I don't think Keith's saying that either. I think what we're saying is it's just not a violent offense. Hold on one sec. I gotta let this cat upstairs. He's going crazy.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Come on, get upstairs.
She's just letting her cat upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just had to open the door. Sorry, he wants to go upstairs
You're good.
with my husband, and the door was shut, and he's meowing. I'm like, shut up, go upstairs. So that's just my take on that. But I saw, Keith, that it seems to like dogs, huh?
Oh, of course. Yes, he does.
I have, just so you know, I have.
She said you seem to like dogs, Keith. You think?
Oh, I love doggies. Cats are cool too, though, but I love dogs. I can't have cats. I can only have dogs in here, so I love cats too.
Yeah, just so you know, I have 6 dogs.
What? You have 6 dogs?
Sure do.
Oh,
Yeah, one thing about those residential burglaries as well was, I always assumed that they had to prove, like, there had to be some kind of stipulation where they had to identify where, like, for me at that age, like when I did the burglaries, like, I didn't want to go in the house if somebody was there. Obviously, I did it in the daytime. I knocked on the door. If somebody would have been there, I would have not even have committed the crimes. And I always thought they would have to prove that that was the intent. Because you got to think about it over here in California back then. For a while, what were those carjackings were not even considered violent in the first few years of the 3 strike law over here. So for a lot of years, those weren't even considered violent strikeable 3 strike cases. So that's what was crazy, the fact that residentials were strikeable and yet carjackings were not until later on. So,
Yeah, unfortunately, the legislator is
monitored and recorded.
not only
the
the three
legislator
strikes,
is can unilaterally change things, and it has to pass, sure, but I think that the general consensus of certain legislator and political stuff, and I don't really want to talk about politics, but is that they're supposed to be quote unquote hard on crime, which you hear the word burglary and you think, holy shit, that's horrible, but you actually, that's sort of kind of how I got into this. Well, not how I got into it, but that's one of the parts of my job that I prefer, is trying to explain to a judge, a burglary isn't like, people just assume what they see in movies. And I know I don't have to tell you this, but it's like they pew pew and big scenes and hauling crap out. That's not really what a burglary is most of the time.
Right.
yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the thing too. So those burglaries have also disqualified me. Like, I would have been eligible for elderly parole at 50. However, because I was also sentenced under the three strikes law here in California, under the old law, it excluded me from going to elderly parole at 50, but yet pushes me up to where I have to go at 60. Even though I have 25 years in on that base term, because of that three strikes, it pushes me up to 60. So that's another thing that three strikes law has hindered me over here with my board appearance. And then the same thing with my youth offender, because even though all of my cases were committed under the age of 25, I'm still not considered a youth offender because I had a previous commitment at 18. Even though science proves biologically your brain is still underdeveloped all the way until 25, 26.
Yeah, especially for men.
How that works or how that fits. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know how you could say, okay, well, obviously there's a pattern where I kept making poor decisions, but yet you're excluding me because I didn't just make that poor decision between 18 and 25 that one time, but yet I continue to make them in between 18. It's kind of ironic. It kind of contradicts itself to say, okay, well, you have this window of 18 and 25, but because you committed a crime already in between that time, when you committed this one at 22, it excludes you. You see?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Very frustrating.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I mean, I still do, I still keep fighting. I still keep doing the same things I do every day, like as if I'm coming home tomorrow. Like I said, I've been disciplinary free for 16 years, going on 17 years. And it's taken a lot of years. It's taken a lot of years to finally figure things out and get to where I'm at today. I'm 53, but like I said, I still have to keep fighting as if I'm coming home tomorrow.
Yeah, it's sort of a survival mode in there.
Yeah. And I wish I'll be honest, I had to go back to my childhood. I had to go back to younger. There's a lot of things I had to address to get to where I'm at. So that was probably the most important thing, and a lot of honesty, self-honesty, and being truthful about myself, and that's what got to me where I'm at today.
So is your intention to apply for parole in 7 years?
Yeah, so I will go at 60, elderly parole at 60. Hopefully something in between that time changes with these laws. I see all these, honestly, these guys with life without possibility of parole sentences are getting more action than a lot of us that were sentenced under the old three strikes. Because I don't even see consultation. I don't even have a consultation hearing, and a lot of these other guys do. You know, I have a commutation in with the governor's office that I put in earlier this year. But the thing about that over here is when you put in for commutation, like they don't give you no kind of notification from the governor's office saying, okay, you're under review, or we denied you or accepted you. Like you'll never know until somebody shows up from the governor's office to interview you, like just out of the blue. So that's another thing that's like up in the air that you just never know. So, you know. Yeah.
So, Ellie, is there like something on the outside, like us as a community? Is there something like we could, as far as letters or write to, just anything that maybe people can hear us?
I mean, so here here you would write to the governor.
Mm-hmm.
Probably similar in California, also the parole board. But the problem is the parole board. Again, I don't know how it works in California, but here you have to be eligible to even get in front of the parole board. Like, I don't know, I'm not quite sure about what you have to do, but I think you have to fill out like an application or something to get your case at least in front of the parole board at a minimum. So, I mean, Keith might know. Keith, how do you get in front of your parole board?
Well, they do over here again, like I said, the commutation, like, every time that, like, I just put out that Unleashed book, and then this other book, the Fiona and Finn. So I sent copies to the governor's office. I sent my commutation in. I sent all my support letters. They do have a change.org petition that you can go on, which I am getting ready to do that as well, where you get signatures out in the community where they support you. And that's what Mark and I and Jamie, we were talking about this weeks ago. But again, it's like I said, if you're not being presented in front of the parole board, like that's the thing is you have to get your foot in the door and be eligible. There's so much red tape over here as opposed to other states where you can do that. Like the Menendez brothers over here. I don't know how that happened so fast. But they're already going in front of a parole board. They've already had a psych evaluation. They're already going in front of the parole board. Like, I don't even know how this happened so fast because you never see that, you know?
Yeah, I think they got some kind of health.
Right, yeah. Because Eric, he goes tomorrow and Lyle goes Friday.
Yeah. And I think they may be released, apparently. That's the word on the street, apparently. I don't know.
Yep. Because actually, they're in the same prison with Carell, Ramon, and Josh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all in the same, yep. Yeah.
So that change.org is basically, if you look that up, Mars, that's what we're going to be working on next. That will allow the community to obtain signatures, but also see at the same time, while we're getting those signatures, my commutation is sitting in the governor's office. And you're allowed to send in a commutation every year. So I did one year, and it was years ago, and it was kind of vague. And then this time I had it professionally done by a social worker in the community that was really, really good. She did that on the side. So she put it together really nicely. And so we sent that in, and it's probably been about 5 to 6 months. But I also have to keep in mind is I have to be patient because I can only imagine how many commutations are going across that desk, you know, just in a month. So like I said, like I told you, March, last night, I look at everything as opportunity to, like, somebody.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
You know, why are you getting on there going to conversations like, well, what if they can't do nothing for you? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I look at everything as opportunity to get it out there and let people hear it. And you know, my main goal is to make it for whoever I am talking to has a hard time forgetting that they had a conversation with me. So,
right.
Vice versa, you know. So
absolutely.
For me, it's a win-win. So
yeah.
But I'll call you right back.
Go ahead. I mean, he does so much to help everyone. He, He's in that dog program. He trains service dogs. Yeah.
So is he allowed out of his cell a majority of the day?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Because he's like I don't want to say good person because that's not, I know he's a good person, but I'm just saying like he's not like he does so many community things is the word I'm looking
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Oh, and that's Jamie. Yeah, he's allowed. Yeah, he's allowed out, and he attends college. He takes college classes, but he's allowed out of his cell. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
An incarcerated individual at
Like he had me laughing. He was telling me last week it was so hot for the dogs. He pulled a pool out. He jumped in a pool with 13 dogs just to cool them off. Like he does so much for so many people. He's just amazing.
Thank you for
And you know what? People think I've known Keith forever. I met Keith doing this. And he is like and he calls me mom. He's like my son. Like Keith and Jamie are my family. Like we are so close. And I never met Keith. I never met Jamie in person. I met doing this.
That's really cool.
And we talk a couple times a day, myself and Keith, like through Messenger. He'll call me and Jamie on the phone. They're my family.
That's cool.
Yeah. They're very important to me. So I would do anything to help Keith. Like we're have plans on doing certain things that we can do to try to help him, but we met doing this.
Keith.
Yeah.
So can you explain, I'm just curious. I know you're involved in everything under the sun, literally. AA, NA, dog training, all of your programs. I read all about them. Can you describe to me, and I know you're trying to talk to me, but I'm just curious. Can you describe to me, like, tomorrow, what is your day going to be like? Like, what's on your agenda?
Every morning I wake up, I take the dogs out for group team training. So we have an assembly of 15, 16 handlers and 13 dogs right now. We've never had this many dogs. The team is probably strongest that I've ever had a team as far as inmate handlers. We go on the basketball court for that hour from 8 to 9 while nobody's out there. And we do group training relays. So we formate the dogs in a line. We have them work the agility course, the platforms, and then we'll do cadence walks around the track with all the dogs 2 by 2 to where they're comfortable around each other and they're desensitized to people like the officers, a few of the other inmates that are out there on the yard. I'll come back. I'll do some of the paperwork for the dog program. I'll probably clean out some of the crates, the cages before 12. I'll do some writing, some reading. I'll get on my typewriter. Later on that day, depending on what day of the week, I'll go to college class or I'll go to whatever self-help group that is that I'm attending that day of the week. The only really downtime that I have is I do take my old man naps, so I'm not going to lie because my wife's on here and I know she's listening. I do take my old man naps between 2 and 4. Somewhere in between that window, I'll take a nap, a decompression nap, and I'll wake back up. And then at nighttime, we'll go out again and we'll train with the dogs again. So I'm always involved with something like that. I just wrapped up another book. I'm always helping people. I'm sitting down mentoring one-on-ones with people, whether it's CGA, NA, AA, working the steps, helping somebody with their writing, or even just listening to them, spending time with them, talking to them.
And do you get to have your dog in your cell, or how does that work?
Yeah, he's right here. I got Finn in here right now, and he came in to the program.
Yes, it's fun.
He was a year and a few months, and he came in with valley fever, with pneumonia, and with Lyme disease. So he was only 22 pounds, and he was skin and bones, and he was just weeks away from dying. And when I first seen him, you know, when they brought him in here, I had another dog with me already that I was working with that was waiting to leave to get adopted, and I seen Finn, and I held him, and they told me that he wouldn't eat. He doesn't eat. He's having a hard time eating out of your hand, like eating kibble. And I grabbed some kibble, and I held it in my hand, and I put it in front of him, and he curled up on me, and he ate out of my hand. And I cried because I felt so bad for him, and he was just skin and bones. And so I ended up having somebody else taking care of the other dog that I had, and I took Finn, and I nurtured him back, and I took care of him, and now he's so heavy now I could barely pick him up.
So he stays with you all day?
Yeah, he's with me all day. He goes everywhere with me except for, like, he can't go in the chow hall. He can't go into the education building all the time. He can't go into the chapel. So what I do is I can leave him in the room with me for an hour or two at a time, and he's just fine. Some dogs can't do that. They have separation anxiety, but Benny loves it. He doesn't mind at all. So he's housebroken. He doesn't party in the house. But he's very social. He loves people. He wants to say hi to everybody when I send him out. And, you know, some of our dogs are harder. They come with more issues when they come in. So they have a lot of trauma. So for Finn, I think that for him, his backstory was, I think his previous owner had passed. Something happened to his owner, and Finney was put into the shelter, and he just kind of shut down, and he quit eating, and so he just needed to be loved back to health, you know. Nice brother.
That's so cool. I love that. So you have a best friend in your cell all the time, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he loves he loves cats too, which is crazy. He in the kennel. Instead of sleeping with the other dogs in there, he always wanted to be in the hallway on his bed with the cats. So he slept with the cats in the hallway.
So he sleeps with you? He sleeps with you?
Yeah, he does. My wife doesn't like him in my bed, but you know, I can't lie. He does. A lot of times he ends up on my bed with me.
Yeah, that's Keith with his wife.
She said he better not be in that bed with you. I said he's not. He's up here, but he's in his bed at the end of my bed. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He's so cute. Marge was just
showing pictures, Keith, as we're talking. I'm showing pictures because, you know, I have all the pictures.
Yeah. He has one ear that always stands up. So they named him Finn, Fin, like, I don't know who named him, but it was named Finn after, like, shark fin, because that one ear reminds me of a shark fin, but I didn't like that, so I put another N on it, so it's Finn. But a lot of times that ear will be standing up. That's a little radar ear.
That's good, because we all know that animals help people in more ways than one. So that's kind of cool that you get to have him around you and hang out with you and be a little best friends with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's awesome. I've adopted out so many dogs, at least 20, over the few years that we've had this program and the previous one. I've worked with so many of these dogs, you know.
Yeah, but that one's going to stay, right?
Yeah, this one, he's going to stay here as long as he needs to, because he's still on medications and everything else. But I still try to work with other dogs. So when we go out and do group training, I'll pass him off to somebody, and then we all try to work with different dogs. That way these dogs get used to not just one handler working with them, but other guys as well. So, you know, and it makes you a better handler, trainer as well. So.
Yeah. And we also have actually who's in the chat here too, and Keith, Tommy's here tonight. Tommy, we were talking about you last night. I guess you heard us. Tommy's a friend of Keith. They're good friends.
And recorded. Yeah, he's been working a lot.
Yeah, Tommy's been working a lot. So Tommy's good friends of his, and he was also he was incarcerated, and he was in the dog program also. Your ears
I
are
love the dog program.
absolutely.
That's one of my faves.
My daughter also works at a place here in Florida that she does service dogs too. So like, go figure. Go figure.
I wish they had that in our local county. They don't have one.
Oh.
But again, it's county, so they don't have it. I mean, they literally have nothing. But I just think like the benefits for the dog and the humans are just so, I mean, there's literally nothing that it's not, it could cost, I guess that's what the county would say, but I don't see any downfall to it. It helps the dogs, it helps the owners, the handlers, it helps everybody, and I just don't see a downfall to it. But again, I'm very pro animal, clearly, so.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was funny because my daughter, like with her dogs, they train at in prisons too. She worked, and I was like, she said, Mom, most of the dogs, because they have graduations and all, are the dogs, our best dogs that graduate, because some of them don't graduate, some of them don't pass everything. And she said, we get the best out of the dogs that go into prisons to train, and they come out, and she said, they graduate. We have the highest graduation when they train out of prisons. And I'm like, you're kidding me. And like, at first it didn't click. And I'm like, I don't get it. You have all these other people, personal trainer, she's good. But the other people, they'll throw them in a cage and they'll go do their daily routine, or where these guys spend 24/7 with these dogs.
Yep.
And they love them unconditionally. And she's like, Mom, the prison program's the best. So that's what and they graduate like crazy when they go into the prisons with the dogs. She rather them handle the dogs than regular trainers. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have all the time. Like you said, we have all the time in the world to work with them. So,
Yep. Keith, cousin Shannon's here also. Cousin Shannon's in the chat.
I can.
See, I even have a cousin too that I'm related to. I adopted myself into their family. So Shannon's my cousin too. I'm right in there.
Keith, are you allowed visitors?
Yeah, my wife visits me every weekend or every other weekend, and then I have family visits, which are 3-day family visits. I have one on the September 5th with my wife and my two stepdaughters, Mia and Kaylani. They're 12, 11, and 13. So they come up here regularly. I've been married to my wife going on 3 years in September. We've been together 8.5, almost 9.
How did you meet?
I met down when I was in another prison. I had a website up with a lot of my artwork, and she had been checking out some of my artwork and reached out. And then the guy, my buddy that was running my Facebook page with all my artwork, he had been the go-between, and I ended up communicating with her, writing her and calling her, and then I came closer to up north in California because I was way down south. And then she visited me for the first time here in the prison that I'm at. And, you know, from the beginning, you know, she was like, well, you know, I'm not, she gave me every excuse or reason in the world not to fall in love with her, but it didn't work. So I pushed me away. And she's been my best friend and my partner, you know, all this time. And she's my biggest support. Her family loves me. My family loves her, you know. Like I said, we make each other better. We encourage each other. We, you know,
that's great.
support one another. And, yeah.
And he did all the illustrations in this book. He wrote and did all the illustrations in the book also.
He drew that?
Everything, all of these.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Yes, he did.
Oh my God.
This is all.
I've always,
You have a very good artistic ability. I have very poor artistic availability. I can't even speak.
Ability.
I've
You
always
got
been,
it.
I've always, yeah, that was, like I was telling somebody the other day, I think it was you, Marge, I was telling you that was my, like, even though I've loved writing for so long, like, drawing comics like that was like a kid passion of mine, like I always had these dreams of creating my own comic book heroes, and, like, so that, doing that book for Whitey's Wish Animal Rescue was, like, taking me back to my childhood, like, because, you know, over the years, I've drawn every other thing that's more serious. And I paint, I draw, I paint, I real good with my hands. And so, yeah, doing that book was really fun because it's like brought up the child in me. So.
Well, you're very talented in that department.
Yeah, wait, his next book is, so my son had passed away in 2006. Keith made me send a picture of my son to him. He is actually painting this picture. Keith is painting it, and he's sending it to me. So this picture of my son, Vinny, it's somebody did this, but he's painting it and he's sending it to me. He's
That's
doing it
wonderful.
in prison. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't. I can barely draw a stick figure. I am so bad.
I know it's me. My husband's good with painting and all that. I can't do it. Nope.
An incarcerated individual at the Pleasant Valley State Prison, Coalinga, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Okay.
So Keith, are you in a different prison than the guys that I spoke to last week?
Yes. Yeah, they're down towards San Diego, past Southern California, and I'm more towards the Central Valley of California. So we're quite a few hours away. I want to say 7 to 8 hours away, maybe, if not more.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you never met them in person?
I had, yeah. Josh Burcham was one of the guys that was here with me. I had mentored him for years.
Josh?
And, he had ended up transferring. Yeah, Josh Burcham. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the other guys that were on, sentenced to death, the condemned inmates, like I didn't know them, so I was very clueless as far as how the logistics go with the death penalty cases as well. So. I was very limited on as far as the information that I knew about that. So when we had our first live with them guys, I was really fascinated by. I was more so intrigued of how they adjusted coming off the death row and back out into the general population because, I had done 13 years in the SHU where you're in your cell 24 hours a day. So I basically knew how that isolation felt, and then coming out here and trying to adjust. So that's the commonality that I have with them guys. That's how I can relate to them as far as being isolated like that. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking last week. I know you missed it, but I don't know how you function because I was saying, when you lock a human in a cage for 23, 24 hours a day, it makes anybody go mentally ill, in my opinion. I don't know how. I mean, I can't even sit in the same room, and I'm out in the free world for more than 5 minutes. I'm an antsy person. I like to walk around and do stuff and move. I'm never really in the same spot. So I don't know how you guys do it. I would really struggle.
It took me a lot of years to finally start going. I am part of the Triple CMS program, the mental health program, where I talk to a clinician every few months. I think it's something that I wish I would have been doing a long time ago, but I've been talking to a clinician probably for the past, I want to say 8 years since I first came to this prison. Medicine important. I think it's important to be able to talk to somebody because there was always a stigma of seeking mental health while in prison. You know, there was a stigma where you're a weak-minded individual if you do ask to talk to somebody. And for a long time, it took a long time to get past that, not caring what anybody thought, and finally start caring about myself enough to go seek help. So, you know, I have a lot of early trauma. I have a lot of stuff.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I mean, it still rears its head up today. Like, even in a lot of situations today, like it never completely goes away.
Yeah, and speaking of trauma, we often see, or I often see as an attorney, that is a very high probability of committing crime. Most, and I'm not trying to generalize, but your environment and what you're brought up in and the trauma that you're in, often relates to, I use the word acting out. I don't like to use the word criminal. Acting out, and more often than not, Keith, I hear similar stories as to what you're telling me. Abuse. I can't say this word on TikTok, but abuse. Neglect, alcohol, drugs, mental health by parents, all of these things, or right, just total unavailability. Mom and dad were nowhere to be found, right? So like I had a case recently where the court called me and said, "Hey, Alec, can you take this case?" And I'm like, well, what is it? And it's a 12-year-old who robbed a vape store at gunpoint. Pew point. Yeah. And, I took the case, but thank you, Amy. I took the case, but I sit down and I asked the kid, I said, "Hey, dude, where were your parents or your mom or your dad?" "You don't know. There's no idea. They're not there." Yeah. Right. And it's just like, and I sort of didn't blame the guy. Now it's wrong. I get that, but he doesn't know what else to do. And I'm like, "Are you bored? Like, why would you do this?" And he's like, "I don't know. My friends thought it was a good idea." And I'm just like, I felt so bad for him because I'm like, dude, if you were an adult, you would have served 10 years for this offense. And it's like, do you realize how serious it was? Like, and I just hope that my conversation with him, I didn't yell at him. I didn't tell him he was an idiot or anything like that. But I just hope my conversation with him, Amy's blowing us up.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. I hope my conversation with him, I pray that he continues to think about it because, the guy's going to end up in prison for multiple years if he continues down the path he's going down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. I just, at 12, I was fortunate enough to not know. Go ahead.
The biggest question is like, where did he learn that behavior? Like, that's the thing is like, that's why I think back to when I was sentenced to the California Youth Authority at 15. I remember specifically the judge, because I kept running away from foster home, group home, boys ranches, committing petty crimes while out on the run, like breaking into a vacant building or something to sleep at night because I was cold or whatever the case may be. And I remember catching all these petty crimes in between going from juvenile hall to placement home to foster home. And I remember the judge finally saying, "Keith, I have no choice but to sentence you to the California Youth Authority because you keep running. Like, I need to put you somewhere where you can't run no more." So instead of dealing with the issue of my trauma and the issues that I suffered at home at the hands of my stepfather, being molested, being abused, having my lungs collapse, my ribs broken, and him almost killing me, was like, instead of dealing with those issues, you're not concerned about why I'm acting out the way that I am. Like, I didn't just decide to do those things at that age because I was wanting attention or because I was running from something still. And I remember going into the youth authority and being housed around other guys that were there was guys that were younger than me. The youngest guys, the boys that I've seen, were 10 years old, and therefore multiple drive-by shootings in L.A., like little gang members. And then you had guys that were almost 24, 25 years old, because back then the California Youth Authority could house you until you're 25. So I was exposed to a lot of other things while incarcerated at that young age that it pretty much layered up that trauma that I'd already suffered. So my mentality was, in order to cope with that, was, okay, I knew what it felt like to be a victim at the hands of the people that were supposed to love me and take care of me in this world, my stepfather and my mother. So if they're capable of harming me, then anybody's capable of harming me, and I'm not going to trust anybody. I'm going to either do what I have to do to survive. So all that rationale of what's knowing right or wrong, it becomes a gray area, because you're in either fight or flight mode. You're going to either become a victim in there again, or you're going to do what you have to do to survive. And sometimes that means compromising the fact that you know what right and wrong is, what's morally acceptable and not, but yet you don't want to become that victim again. So, and then after a while, it just becomes part of your coping skills of just the way that you act, you know. So all of these things, like, I felt like I was groomed for my adulthood into the prison system. So it was no surprise to people that knew me, that had to watch me suffer growing up as a child and do the things that I did. They, you know, it was inevitable that I was going to end up in prison. You know, they
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the conversation I have with, that's the conversation I have with these guys is, dude, you could save yourself now, right? Like, you're 12, bro, but like, where are you getting that? At 12, right, I was fortunate enough to not know what a vape or a robbery or a pew-pew, I mean, maybe I knew what it was, but I wasn't involved dealing with it, right? These kids, unfortunately, when parents are not around or working third shift or whatever's occurring in their house, and I don't know what it is, but they are exposed either by older siblings, by sneaking out, by their, what, similar to what you experienced, their own parents abusing them, right? I don't know, but it's getting to the point where I'm seeing 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, and I you know, you wish, and hindsight's always 20/20, but you know, I sit down with these dudes and I don't yell and I don't scream and I don't throw a fit. I try to give them some sort of reality perception without, you know, scaring the shit out of them, but also a little bit scaring the shit out of them, because, you know, I'm hoping that at least one of these kids will listen to me, because I'm like, dude, you are headed down a lifetime of prison. And I know you have no control over your parents, but, you know, try to stay in your bedroom, try to go to school, try to do so much stuff. But, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I just think they just want to get the hell on with their life and ignore me, but.
Yeah, like you said, that hindsight's 20/20, that I wish I, it's hard to say, because sometimes I go, you know what, Keith, like, your journey, like, if it were not for the things you had to go through, would you be who you are today? And I thank God that I am who I am today, and the people that I do have in my life, and the fact, like, I do have that peace of mind and heart, that I'm very peaceful as opposed to how it used to be. But at the same time, I wish I would have had more discernment as far as what consequential thinking was. I wish I would have been able to see that life has consequences, and every action and reaction has consequences to your life that could impact you for the rest of your life. And I think that's the message that I try to tell people now, is like, it is, because, you know, we do a program here. We haven't done it in years because I moved to another yard, but we used to do a youth adult awareness program where they would bring in at-risk youth from the community, and we would mentor them. We'd give them a tour of the facility, and then we would sit down and mentor them all day, like one-on-ones with one of the, they'd bring a couple van full of young boys from the probation department or from a local high school. And
yeah, we need more of that. I am in extreme favor for that. I will sing from the rooftops from that. Our youth, particularly right now, I mean, I have, where I practice law, there's 2 what I would call inner cities. with a very extremely high crime rate. And we have youth, like I said, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, who maybe their parents are, addicted or not right, or whatever it is. I don't know, but there's a major problem with these kids, with pews and getting involved in the wrong group of kids and drugs. You know how many cases I have of substance abuse at 12 years old, and I'm thinking, like, kid, if you only could look in the mirror and see yourself in 20 years, right? Like, and I know that it's not their fault. I try to remember some of their trauma. Well, probably most of it is not their fault, but I just want them to realize, I don't think that they realize what you just said, Keith, which is the consequences of their actions. Had they done this at age 18 or 16,
and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They will spend the rest of their life, or a majority of their life, or decades in prison, and they think they're cool, right? They think they're cool. And it's like, well, my friends are doing it, and this is the thing, is to smoke a vape and blah, 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 right? And it's like, yeah, dude, you're cool now, but it's not really cool when you're slammed behind those bars and you can't get out, right? So I think what we call it here, the Scared Straight program, I am in extreme favor for that, because I can talk till I'm blue in the face. They're like, who are you? I just met you. You're my court-appointed lawyer. I don't give a shit what you say. And I try to make myself, understand, but again, they don't know me like that.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the most profound thing for me is when we sat down. I remember this one young boy that I sat down with, and I was talking to him, and we get like a breakdown bio of them before they come in, and we get assigned. We go over what the probation department or the whatever guardians in the house that they're willing to share on the little short brief bio that they provide us at least a week or two before they bring the teens in here. And I selected this one boy that he had been bounced around from foster homes. So, like
I went. Okay. I'll call right back. Do they still have that program? Is it Scared Straight, you said, or
they don't have it here?
They don't have it there? Oh.
I want them to create one so bad, but the problem is that our jails and our county stuff, they're going to say, one, they don't have money, and two, it's a safety. I can already see it.
Okay. We
have a juvenile detention center, which is like next door to our county prison. Like, you could spit from one to the other, right? But it's like juvenile detention. It's like prison for kids. I mean, it's like lock and cell, normal stuff. So, I just wish that we could, as part of their probation or parole or their first offense or even their second, that they could take a tour and sit down with somebody like Keith or even me. I'll take them in if they would let me. Like, I would volunteer to take them in. Like, thank you for using. They don't get it, and I know they're kids. But it's just, I just hope that it bothers me, because there's so many, a lot of this is a lack of parenting, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So when this young boy told me that his mother had just committed suicide earlier that year, and that he was living between like his grandmother's house and his aunt's house, and I was just thinking, man, like, how could I relate to this kid? The fact that he confided in me about his mother committing suicide is like, I wanted to know how he felt, but I also didn't want to pry, and imagine how that is on a 12, 13-year-old boy, where one of your parents commits suicide. It's like, what's running through this kid's mind? Does he feel like he's at fault? Why did they leave me? Was it because of me? Was it because, like, so the fact that he confided in me in that, it was humbling. Like, it's just a lot for a kid at that age, and you can't blame him for feeling displaced, being sent to his grandmother, being sent to his aunts and uncle's house, and like, instead of like really getting down to the core of the issue of what's going on inside of him, you're the Band-Aid mechanism of saying, okay, well, now we just got to find a place. Well, he's acting out, so we need to send him to his grandma's, or we need to send him to his aunts or uncles, or like, it was just sad. So
yeah, Yeah, I agree. It's a shame, really. There's so many aspects, and I do family law, and there's a lot of, that family law bleeds into criminal and vice versa. And there's so many aspects of the system that's just, it's so upside down and backwards. And, it takes people like you and me and Marge and people to scream for people to understand. But, I just, sometimes I think about this a lot particularly when I'm laying in bed at night. It's really, people make mistakes and everyone's human, right? I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Marge isn't perfect. My damn cat sitting on my lap isn't perfect, right? I think that's what the judges and the legislators and the prosecutors and the rich people who benefit in the private prisons and the people who own prison and all of that other stuff, they fail to realize, and a lot of it is motivated by money and politics, which is honestly disgusting, but they forget that they're prison too, right? And that I guarantee you somebody in their family is an addict or incarcerated or has done something that they regret, right? And that's sort of the problem. But money is the root of all evil. I'm convinced of it. So it's a shame, but.
So Keith, Jamie said, talk about how you structured all the programs and workshops that you create.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Like, I've always been good with like organizing and like I'm very meticulous. Like I'm totally opposite. Like Jamie always tells me, man, you want everything organized. You have to have like, I've just always been like that. I don't know where I got it from, but I have to have everything like meticulous. I have to think things out before I approach them. So after being in all these self-help groups over the years in here and being able to develop insight, like it gave me not just the hunger to learn more, to attain more, but also it's that those moments of helping other people around me, because when you see those aha moments where, man, you just like you were just able to lay something out that was so complex and so sophisticated in this book or this curriculum, and then you're dumbing it down into layman terms for somebody to understand, and they have this aha moment where you see the light go off in them and they're excited, and like those things, like that drives me to do these things every day where I'm able to do this curriculum. So right now I'm also working on a curriculum called ACE. It's about it's a parental coaching guide to gang awareness. So I've always been pretty good at putting workshops together and like I try to take into account like what would reach me, like what would help me understand something, whether it's the 12 steps or it's a parenting workshop, it's a community leadership workshop. I'm able to like articulate this and create these things just from scratch by taking into account all the other things that I've done. So, there's so many people that could probably attest to it. Tommy could probably tell you as well. Like a lot of these guys always came to me to create that stuff because I could just create it from scratch. And I don't know what it is, how I'm able to do it. I just try to take everything that I've learned, and I've just always been pretty good with it. So.
Well, that's a gift you have, Keith. You should, keep doing it. You're changing people's lives, including your own, and you're helping people, and maybe that's what you've been called to do. I understand your circumstances are not your favorite, and I don't blame you that they're not your favorite at the current moment. But look at all the good that you've done in the world. There's someone that needs to do it, and you're doing it from the inside, and some of us are doing it from the outside, but, people need you. You've probably saved more lives than you can imagine, I'm sure.
Oh, yes,
yeah, and I do. And I do. I take that into account. And I try to tell these guys at the same time, like, I take so much from that opportunity of being able to help them as well. It helps me as well. So This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. I just wrapped up my manuscripts for another book called Trauma Unraveled, From Hurt to Healing, and it's got 18 to 19 writing submissions from guys in here that have experienced early trauma as well, and how it influenced their life, and not only that, it's the redemption aspect of it, the healing part. So that's my next book coming out, and some of that stuff in there it's when you become victimized and you feel that suffering, it's kind of hard. It's easy to go inside yourself and go, okay, I suffered, I'm a victim. I suffered, and you kind of get closed off to taking into account that other people have suffered the same, or if not more. So when I heard some of these guys' stories, like I sat down with them to interview them for the book, and I like a couple of them had shared the molestation with me that they suffered growing up, and it all these years I've talked about the physical abuse that I suffered, and until on your show, Marge, I had never talked about the molestation at the hands of my stepfather. So
Right.
it gave me that, it empowered me to speak that into existence on this live. Then I was able to start talking about it in the groups here, and because I still felt like I'd been living with that little secret and suppressing it, going, okay, people knew that I was abused. They don't need to know that I was also molested as well. But at the same time, they do need to know that, because I need to know that, because I need to let it out for the sake of myself as far as the healing process. So because of them guys that I sat down with, now I'm able to talk about it, and I feel a lot more lighthearted, and I'm not carrying this weight with me, because I'm not pretending that the physical abuse was more. It was more than the other abuse. It was because it was all together. It all influenced. It all harmed me. It all hurt me, and it caused me to hurt other people. So.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people that I talk to, I always say jokingly, but it's not really a joke. No one comes to my office happy, right? You're either getting a divorce, have a custody battle, been charged with a crime, or incarcerated, because that's the only type of law I do, which is family law or criminal defense. So, I mean, unless you're coming to my office for an adoption, you're usually not happy, right? So, and it's usually probably the worst time of your life, right? So it's unfortunate. It's the good thing about you, Keith, is, you've turned your life around. That's to say the least. You've helped people. You've saved people's life. It seems like from the chat, you've got a lot of support. I know Jamie's in here. She's been sending me gifts on TikTok. Thank you, Jamie. You didn't have to do that. And it looks like you had some friends in here, and you see your family. And I know Marge is on your side, and I am too. And I hope that you continue to do what you're called to do, whether you believe in God or some other being or whatever that is. Because you're doing a good job. And I would say that, Keith, most people can't say that they've written books inside prison and have helped do a dog program and NA and AA and the 500 other programs that you've done. So I want to commend you on that. I think that's really honorable. I really do. Most people just sit there and complain, really, to be honest. And some of it's warranted. I'm not saying it's not. I mean, prison sucks. I'm not saying it's not warranted to complain, but you're doing something good out of it.
And Allie, what I didn't say is he makes sure every Thursday I have a live. He does this for me on Thursdays. He makes sure I have someone to talk to. He makes sure I have the questions are ready to go. And he is meticulous about that. What we're going to do, we start on Sunday. On the weekends, we plan it out. He gets it all set up, and he makes sure I have my live ready to go.
So does he pick like a person or something?
Will be monitored and recorded.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sorry. Does he pick like a person or oh, that's cool. That's
We'll
great.
go over together. He'll say, Marge, would you be interested in talking to? That's how I met Josh, and then we got into Corral and all that. Oh yeah. So he'll pick someone, say, are you interested in doing this, this, and this, and we'll talk, and then he'll send me over the questions. Oh yeah. But he makes sure I'm good to go every week. Every week.
That's great. Well, it was great talking to you guys, Keith. It's It was an honor to talk to you, Marge, as usual. Nice to see you.
Always. Same here, Allie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, if I do send you, if I do happen to have a few more questions for Marge, if you don't mind, I would love for Marge to even be able to email you and maybe get some of your advice or input or anything. I know you're very busy. I'm sure you have so much other stuff going on, but like I might have other questions that might come up, and I would truly appreciate it if even you could just give me.
Oh, it's paused.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Keith, I'm happy to assist you in any way that you may need. Just tell Jamie or Marge to shoot me a message or an email or a text, and I will answer to the best of my abilities. I'm happy to do that. And if you want to write to my law office, I will write back to you.
Okay. Yeah, we appreciate having you on, and like I said, you're a rock star. You very, very impressionable, very personable, and down to earth. So I appreciate you just taking the time to spend with me and having the conversation, because every conversation is an opportunity, whether it's for you helping me or me helping you, or even just helping people listening to the conversation that we had. I think it's important.
Yeah, I agree, and I would if you ever need someone to write to or to chat, I'm happy to do that. Jamie, I'm gonna follow Jamie right now, because if I don't do it now, it won't happen.
Yeah, Jamie's amazing.
I'll follow you back, Jamie, and obviously Marge, you know how to get a hold of me. If you guys need anything, you let me know, okay? And Keith, I'll talk to you soon. Keep your head up there, buddy, and keep writing your books. I'm gonna order the children's book for my daughter.
Oh, we got you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
You're
All right,
welcome.
Ellie, I'll talk to
Bye-bye.
you. All right. Bye. Keith? Yeah, we're still here, Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a
Okay.
little one too, so to get ready for bed, but yeah, it was really
that's
good.
fine.
It was really good.
Yeah, because I know Jamie has a few more. There's a few more questions. Like, you have 60 seconds remaining. Let me call you back.
You could call me right back, yeah. I know, Wendy, she is. She's amazing. Allie is amazing, yep. He's going to call right back. If anyone has any questions for Keith, he'll be calling right back. Tommy, if you're still here and you want to pop up, you can pop up. You could come up in the box. Are you working? Do you want to come? You could come
You have a
up.
prepaid call from
Keith Erickson.
an incarcerated individual at the
There he
Pleasant
is.
Valley State Prison,
Hey.
Coalinga, California. This call
How are
and your
you?
telephone number will
Doing good. Tired.
I'm
You have a
sure.
prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Thank you for
We
using
miss you. You heard us
Link.
talking about you last night.
I was,
Keith,
you know what? I was home too. I had injured myself.
Tommy's up here now. Tommy joined me.
What's up, buddy?
A mysterious Tommy.
The
What's up, buddy?
mysterious Tommy.
I'm here.
Tommy's busy.
He is.
Yeah.
I work 3 jobs right now.
What's that?
I said I work 3 jobs right now,
3 jobs. Okay.
but I injured myself on Monday. So
Oh, you okay?
yeah, I broke my ankle.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Wow. Woo.
chasing Ellie Blue.
Ouch.
Yeah, I was chasing Ellie Blue off of.
Oh.
So she ran off the porch to chase a cat. It went in the carport, and then so I heard all this banging and going on in the carport. So I jumped off the porch, and I landed on my foot sideways.
Ah. That's not good.
No, but I still been going to work every day. And then they're like, dude, you don't have to come in. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I need a paycheck.
Right? Exactly. Sometimes you still have to keep going, but you got to take care of that.
I have. I'm just, I keep it elevated as much as I can, and then just, try to rest. I don't have to go to work at night right now. I kind of called in and I know I was injured, So
Oh, okay.
so I'm good for a couple days, and then I'll probably have to go in over the weekend though.
Okay.
And then,
Does anybody have any questions for Keith? If you do, we have him for a few minutes.
no, let him know. I was gonna tell him about that guy Ott. Yeah, he knows Otter.
Otter?
Yeah.
Keith?
Yeah.
So did you hear what happened with him down in Donovan?
Yeah.
Josh, oh man, he went down there. I guess he ain't had a celly in 10, 15 years, and they put him on double cell status down there, and then they gave him some JCAT celly, right? And he went through it for a few weeks with the guy, and then finally they moved him out. But he did everything in his power to get that guy moved out, and they just kept leaving him in there. Well, they finally did the right thing, moved him out, but Ott came to Jackpot and was like, "Hey, do you still talk to Keith and Tommy?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, let them know, man, that all that stuff they were trying to teach me, it worked. All those tools and stuff." He goes, "I used every one of them. It worked." You know what I mean? He goes, "I didn't do anything to that guy,
Yeah.
And he goes, "I listened. Tell him I listened, and I really appreciate him, and I really respect him." And I was like, "Man, that's cool,
Oh, that's who that's who Josh was telling us about last week when he thanked you and everything. Okay, yeah, Josh did tell him about it last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Okay.
that was
Yeah,
cool,
because you missed it last week. That's right, Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh
Okay.
called me though.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do we have anything lined up for next week, Mark?
Hey, I
Not
was gonna
yet.
say,
So
hey, you
I
remember
didn't know if you
Bomber?
wanted
Okay.
to
So
do the book or what you wanted to do.
we could do the change.org. Jamie and I could start getting that ready.
Right.
She already had me getting the layout ready because you got to type something into you have to set up the petition account on the change.org. So
Right.
I already started that, and then we can get that done, and then by next, I'll send you something tomorrow. Tomorrow, and then like an intro layout for a commercial, and then we'll start the petition where people can get on there and give them the signatures. And now that we've kind of had this conversation with Ali, and
Yeah.
we've got a few more people that will give me their support as well, maybe we can get this petition change.org thing rolling too.
Absolutely.
All our signatures.
Let's do it.
All that going, and then try to
Hey,
get
Keith.
more people on as well. Yeah.
Bomber might be willing to do that too.
Who?
Bomber, remember Bomber?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna next week we're gonna start the change.org thing for me for my petition because of my commutation that's in the office right now, in the governor's office, and then to kind of continue with that, and then we'll set that up for maybe a week or two after that.
That'll work.
Line that
Just
up
give me
with,
time to contact him, because he don't respond on them. And it's interesting is Bomber's in the dog program that Christy Marge's daughter, one of the ones from her group.
Oh, okay.
The dog program in Mule Creek is one of the ones from her group out there in Florida.
Okay.
Like the head office is out here, right?
Right.
But,
Yeah. And Keith, Lauren said that she can help also with the change.org. She can help us.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have the old one. We have the old one to reference them from. Yep, Lauren, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, because I am like I said, me and Jamie would she looked up all the info, but I don't know if we have as far as the computer savvy skills like our like Lauren has. So
yeah, Lauren said she can help us with that. Absolutely. Yep.
And then I do want to get Allie's contact information for Jamie, because I know Jamie has other personal questions she'd like to ask her as well.
I have it all.
So I want.
Yeah, she gave it. I have it.
Okay.
Yep. And then we were talking about, which everyone is excited about. When you have time, we can read the book. Whenever you want to do the book
without a
read.
doubt.
Yeah, because everyone's
Without a
excited.
doubt.
Because we do have the first book. We have the first book on YouTube, so we have to add this book. We have Unleashed on there.
This call
And you know,
and your telephone number
for
will be
my
monitored and
people who
recorded.
can't see, they like to listen to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we can put the second book, this book on there. We can put Finn on there and Fiona. So
Yeah, so what we can do is, so for next week, we can do my book reading, but also, I mean, that's not going to take a whole lot of time
Right.
because it's not as long as, but, and then we can also do the, also introduce the change.org and give our listeners the opportunity to log in on there and sign it, give their signature on the petition. Okay?
that sounds great. That sounds great.
Yeah, so we'll do that. And I think that'll be good. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you and everybody that was listening. And like I said, I love those conversations with people like Allie and
Absolutely.
they're
I
very
love
motivational to me.
Keith. Oh wait, somebody's Keith. When will Keith, we have a question. What are we thinking? Well, that might be Thursday. We'll do that.
Yeah, it's up to you. Wednesday or Thursday, whatever works best for you.
Thursday, Thursday we'll do that. Somebody said Keith. What? Mia. When will you do the reading for the kids' book live? Thursday night. We usually do Thursdays because you're busy on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
So
Thursday.
we'll go back to Thursdays. Yeah, we did this. We did Wednesdays because Allie is busy on Thursdays. Thursdays Allie does court TV, so that's why we had to do Wednesdays for 2 weeks. We're going back to Thursday nights. So Thursday next week, I will post it. We will make a flyer.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't realize it. Jamie, all right, you're using your daughter's phone. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. I just saw that they're flying like crazy.
Oh, I know who it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew
Oh,
who it
you
was.
know.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Little
the
Mama
chat's flying.
Yeah.
Yep. No, so we'll do that Thursday. Is that good for you? That's good, Jamie, right? We go right back to Thursday nights. But yeah, I'll send the information to Jamie, right? From
Yeah.
Allie's information.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. All right. Yeah, I have all her information. I already have it. I'll just copy and paste it. I'll send it to you. Yep.
Okay.
It was a great live.
I love you, Mama Mars.
Oh, I love you too.
Yeah,
And tomorrow I'll be a little, just in the morning. I have that biopsy that I told you about. I have that in the morning. So I should be good to go. I should be okay right after, I hope. I should be able to go live by 2:00, I'm sure. You know, Marge, she's stubborn. But yeah, so I have an 11:00 appointment. I'll be on here by 2, I'm hoping. They told me if I want to go to sleep, it's like optional, means I have a ride. So
Yeah.
I'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll keep you posted on what's going on after I hear.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. You guys have a good night.
All right. Love
Signing
you.
off over here. Love you guys.
All right. Good night. All right. Did you ever? I know, Jamie. Thank you so much. That was a good live. Like it turned out really good. So we're going to just go back. We'll do it Thursday. We'll do the book reading and we'll do the change.org together. We have the format. We were told it was done, Jamie, so we were told there was one. Me and Lauren, we have we have the format. So I think we could put our heads together and figure that out. Oh, Tommy dropped. He must have had a call. So we'll figure that out. But I will message you with all Allie's information. I already have it, so no problem at all. So I am going to end this here tonight. I appreciate everyone for joining. We're going to go over to Favorite It for a little bit. We'll go there because I can't stay on real late because I have to be up super early tomorrow because I have to get this done tomorrow morning. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you, Margie. I appreciate everyone joining us tonight. It was a good live. So we're going to do the change.org. Once we get that done next week, we'll have it. So we'll do that on the live. We'll have it already. Then we'll share links out so everyone could sign it. We'll do the book read, and then we'll post that on the YouTube. So we'll get that all together. And then I'll give everyone information on how we can, if anybody ever wants to reach out to Keith and everything, I will post that all on my page. You can always send text messages. It's 5 cents a text when you do text them. So you can reach out to them if you ever wanted to. I can give you all that information. But anyway, I'm going to sign off for tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate the likes, the shares. 40K likes. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate you. I will see everyone tomorrow at 2. If for any reason I run behind or something's going on, I will post it. I will make a post on my page. So far, I think I'll be okay to go live at 2 o'clock. I'm not sure what's going on, but if there's for some reason, I will make a post. So everyone have a good night. Take care and thank you. Bye. Dash Mom, we're going to go over to Favorite It, but thank you.